Hello chess players! Today we're gonna do something else. Let's solve some tactics with Puzzle Rush, but not a timed one, but survival, so I can kind of explain in a slow format, yeah, how I'm thinking, how I'm searching for tactics, what is my thinking process. Let's try doing these. So yeah, white to play. We have to be careful. I think you have a limited amount, yeah, of like 3 mistakes you can make total. So here we're looking, yeah, first ones are rather easy. It's either one move tactics or mates in one, like this, yeah. Plenty of back rank mates, so we're finding these mates again, yeah. See the home board and the back rank mate again, yeah. White has back rank issues, yeah. This pawn here preventing the king escape, so back rank mate, very easy. Another back rank issue, yeah. There is no check here, so it looks like this move is winning, yeah. Back rank mates coming. Okay, have to be concentrated. Okay, some mates in one as well, kind of climbing the rating a bit again, yeah, like opening traps, mates in one, and I have to notice such things super fast. I'm just making sure I'm not blundering something, yeah, in one. Again, we notice, yeah, bishop, this bishop, but it's pinned, yeah, very important, this bishop is pinned. So I'm noticing some checks immediately, yeah, checks, captures, threats, yeah, forcing moves. And I'm noticing this move, yeah, with the knight. Looks like a mate because I'm opening my rook as well. So let's do it. And yeah, here it's becoming in 2 moves, I think. Here we see that we have knight and bishop, and we can do forcing move calculation, yeah. Check, king goes here, and then I see a fork, yeah, so that should be winning. So let's try. I don't see any mates, yeah, so let's go for that. Okay, and we take this rook. Okay, yeah, seems like immediate issue, yeah, how I'm approaching this tactics. I look for king safety, I look for loose pieces and hidden resources. Well, hidden resources or just resources in general, yeah, should be like loose pieces, could be hidden, yeah, your active pieces or some opponent piece alignment, like one attacker, one defender, yeah, kind of undefended piece. So I'm looking here and I'm seeing probably a mate, yeah. We have queen and bishop here. We can go check here, yeah. He cannot go on dark squares, has to go here, and there is a mate here coming up. Or is it mate? It's not a mate actually. The king still can go here, yeah, and then it's mate with g5, yeah, protecting everything. So let's try, let's quickly check if it's, yeah, this seems to be working. There is no cover from checks. Check, yeah, and then g5 was mate there. Okay, looks like rook is attacked, but I notice black's king is very unsafe, especially if we're fighting, yeah, with double rooks. Often king safety is an issue. So I'm seeing this move, rook d8, and it appears that it's gonna be mate, yeah, like a laser mate through the files. Okay, and here it's an easy one, yeah. So this one is very popular one, yeah. Check, bring the king into the corner, and then overpower the back rank, yeah. This is like a famous exercise. Here we need already to look at endgames, yeah. So looks like I can take, he can take, and then what's happening with this pawn? Where will be the square? The square will be this, yeah. When we know the square rule, it's all fine. And black king will be on g4, so he cannot come back into the square. So I go for that, and I win the game by winning, yeah, the race, because he's not in the square, yeah. Square is getting smaller and smaller each time the pawn moves, and I win. Okay, what's happening here, yeah? I have 3 pieces attacking, some checks, yeah. I immediately see this check which protects the rook, and looks like it's gonna be game over after that, yeah. King cannot go from one, yeah, he will be killed on both rows. So yeah, I go for this. It's mate. Okay, what's happening here? White just took something. I'm looking for this king, yeah. It seems like unsafe. If I check immediately with the rook, he escapes, yeah. So what to do? Logically, you want to trap him there in the mating net. So bishop here, and he's gonna be trapped, and I'm giving him a checkmate like this. Okay, here looking at the loose pieces, yeah, already, yeah, king is a bit exposed, a loose piece there, but bishop e6 I cannot attack, so I can take this bishop. What happens then? The king has to move somewhere, and it's getting mated because I have a rook on f-file. I can connect these two pieces together, and he cannot interpose with any of the pieces. Yeah, so that was made there. Okay, king here. Looks like very unsafe king, and immediately see I can give a checkmate like this. Yeah, this is a nice kind of queen checkmates when the king is kind of trapped around his pieces and cannot escape diagonally back. Okay, here we have again, I would say, a very exposed king. Yeah, if we go, already f line is covered, so if we try to trap him, we go h4, he has to come back somewhere here, and rook h7, it should be a mate. Yeah, because our king is also helping, so it looks like mate. Okay, again, immediate kind of spotting in this position. This king is a bit vulnerable, exposed. Maybe I can do something better even, yeah. Well, nothing better than checkmate, I think, yeah, like this. Knight is covering some squares, bishop covering the rook. He cannot block in any way, so this is gonna be checkmate. Okay, queen here. Okay, again, this king is getting killed here, I think. So just need to calculate some lines. Well, we have overwhelming number of attackers, yeah, so this should be just need a little bit calculation. Check, only move is there, and how to bring another piece. Yeah, everything is defended there, just bring the knight. So check and mate. Okay, here it's a famous mate. Yeah, we're looking from the black side. It's a famous mate like this, yeah, with the king being so close and supporting the queen. Okay, we're moving through the rating. Haven't blundered a mistake yet. Okay, here we need already to calculate, because it's an endgame. I think first candidate move would be just to push the pawn, and it's gonna be a race. Let's see some lines, yeah. I push the pawn, he takes, I take. Seems like I'm much faster, yeah. He's pushing here, I'm pushing here, pushing here. G3 has to step out of the way. Well, how to kind of calculate such lines? We could maybe do it from here, and then it's white to play. So how long would take for white to queen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think moves, yeah. And for black, after we push here and he takes, 1, 2, 3, only 4, I think. So we're winning the race. Okay, just need to calculate another line. If he takes here, then we're going through 1. Okay, he goes here, here. Seems we are much faster, yeah? We're much faster, so let's go for this. And we're winning. Yeah, because I calculated the race. We're much faster to queen. Okay. Next, I see a mate for black, yeah? King is kind of trapped between his pieces. Looks like this move is a mate, because we have also the knight. Yeah, so very easy example, mate. Okay. What's happening here? King is protecting the bishop, but he's exposed to such a check. Queen cannot take, yeah, here for a moment. This check seems to be killing. Okay, maybe something better for white, but I don't see anything better. Yeah, candidate moves, checks, captures. So check. He can maybe block with the bishop. Then I take the bishop. No, I don't take the bishop. Yeah, if he blocks with the bishop, I give him a checkmate like this. So seems like he has to go with the king then. Yeah, he can block with the pawn, but that doesn't change things. Yeah, it's the same. Well, maybe he can actually try to run away at least. Yeah, block with the pawn, I take, then he runs away. Yeah, but then I win the rook in the corner, yeah? If he runs away, for example, here. If he runs there, I always take this bishop. So looks like winning material, yeah? And material at the moment is what? It's exchange down, yeah, for white. So yeah, but this bishop g5 seems like it's a winning move. Well, some queen trap, no possible, yeah, so I go for this. And I, of course, take it. And win the rook, I think, in the corner. Yeah, I'm not getting mated here. So let's just quickly check if there's nothing more. Well, no, I think, yeah. No other checks, no mate, so I just take the rook. Okay. Alright, seems like a famous pattern of the weakened squares, yeah? Invasion mates, as I call them. Looks like this might be happening, and black will have no defense. Yeah, they can throw some random checks, but nothing helps. Problem is their queen is not in time. Yeah? If the queen was here, he might have... if the queen for some reason was on long diagonal, yeah, he might defend. But I'm going here, and I think I'm kind of invading there. Yeah, okay. What happened here? We're playing with black. What is this? Such a strange example. Can I just take the queen in one move? Yeah, what's this? Yeah, I can take the queen. Very strange for such level. Okay, moving on. This king is a bit exposed. He has a queen versus two rooks. And he checks. Well, looks like I can check from here. He cannot go to the d file. He has to run either this way or this way. Looks like on b5 he's gonna get checkmated with a4 there. And if he runs, yeah, after this, he runs here, I go knight a5, and he's driven to the back row where he's gonna get mated after. Yeah, let's say he goes here, he's gonna get mated with this rook on the edge. Yeah, so I go for this, but yeah, bishop controlling here, but not h6. Yeah, very careful. So rook h6, yeah, check and mate, working with all pieces together. Okay, what is this? Opponent has two queens, but we can checkmate using the triangle, I think, here. Yeah, king goes here and then checkmate like that. Looks like mate in two. Check and mate. Okay, what is this? We're playing with white. Looks like we're about to queen, but also black has a pawn here going down. So what is this? Okay, but if we queen, he has to sacrifice a rook. So we're winning then, yeah? He has no time to approach with the king here, because immediately we go after this pawn and we take it next. So let's make a new queen. I don't think he can do anything about it. Yeah, he tries to approach, but the easiest is just to win this passer. Yeah, and we have to know there how to checkmate with rook and king. Okay, so we are playing black here, and looks like, yeah, we're moving these pawns. Okay, white has also some passers, but they're less advanced. So what can we do? The big question is, should we go h3 or g2 immediately? Yeah, this one of them will be correct. If we go g2, he has time to sacrifice this bishop. So g2, let's calculate. Yes, sacrifice, king takes, and then it's a race. Yes, c5, 3, c6, h2, c7, and looks like we're queening at the same time. Yeah, so no good. g2, no good. We need to help this pawn. So h3, c5, g2. If he sacks, doesn't matter. c6 and g1 queen. And that's how we go. So I just kind of showed you guys that g2 doesn't work, so we go for h3 and we execute our idea, queening and winning. Yeah, okay, yeah, very easy one. Mate, yeah, just have to see the whole board. It's a checkmate here. Okay, here is the famous like lineup against here, and it's gonna be a double check, the most powerful check in chess. Double check and mate to follow. Yeah, do you see it? Do you see where is the mate? Mate is here. Okay, here we have a famous pattern, yeah, with this advanced pawn. It's like a, yeah, like a bone and throat close to the king. And we know this pattern where we sacrifice all the rooks and then the queen comes in, yeah, all with tempo, so he has no time to escape. Yeah, we sacrifice to lure him into h-file and all with checks, and because of that pawn, yeah, there was a mate. Okay, this example looks like I'm seeing the idea, yeah, check here and then knight comes in, yeah, because there's no other way to mate there. Otherwise, yeah, if we do some nonsense like check here and bishop f3, then he can block with the queen. So we have to include the knight as well. So bishop here, yeah, looks like mate and knight coming in, and then it's a mate, famous mate with rook and bishop, like that. Okay, well, here is this mate. I think it is, yeah, just queening. Just need to calculate how we finish here. Queen, king goes here, only move, and where is the mate next? Yeah, maybe the king will start running away, like here. So we queen, king goes here. Where is the mate? We can come back with the queen perhaps to c5 and then mate him there this way. Yeah, so I'm calculating king d6, queen c5. King has to drop back again, and then some rook a7 and mating, yeah, like that. Seems like it's working. Yeah, seems like it's working there. So let's try it. Yeah, that didn't even give the line, but I've seen that to the end there. How to checkmate. Okay, what is this? Yeah, looks like again, these are all exercises about king safety, yeah, until certain level where you need to calculate more. So what is this? Looks like the king is badly exposed here. So first immediate move, yeah, coming to mind is bishop c4. He has to block after bishop c4, and then what? Then we can force matters, maybe take, but I'm not so sure what's happening there. Yeah, he can take with the king and so on. Yeah, let me think about here. Okay, check, rook here. Cannot trap the queen in any way. What else we can do? Yeah, queen is defending the bishop, so no queen g6 slow moves. Yeah, he's defended there, so bishop c4, rook here, maybe just queen takes now, and his rook is kind of terribly pinned, but that gives him some move. Yeah, he can start checking, so no good. So we have to be forceful here. Check, rook here takes the rook. What's the material count? Okay, takes with the king, check, king has to go somewhere back, and I'm not sure how we're winning this actually. Okay, so what is it? Where is the mate actually? So bishop here, rook here, takes the rook, king takes, queen has to take, yeah, otherwise what are we doing here? And king goes, for example, on a fade back there, then we can maybe bring the other rook into attack. If he goes on g8, we can do some checks maybe. I'm not sure about this. Okay, yeah, we cannot make slow moves, yeah, like queen takes, definitely, and black will have some chances then. So we have to go for bishop c4, let's try it. Okay, rook f7. Now it's time to decide, yeah, because he has some checks now, so we have to be forceful. Can we do? No, we cannot. I have to take this rook. Okay, and now what? Can we go now with this? King has to go kind of back, but we can take very strange example, yeah, because now we are not even material up here, I think. Yeah, he has, well, we have kind of exchange, yeah, exchange for, not really an exchange, yeah, we have, they have two bishops for a rook, yeah, so we're not even material up. So how are we attacking here? Queen takes here, has to stay close to the bishop, yeah, otherwise we're gonna win the bishop. So most likely he'll drop back to g8. Again, some checks maybe there. Okay, let's go for this. Okay, very strange. I don't know what happened after that. Yeah, so very strange, very unusual example. Actually, bad example there, I think. Okay, so what is happening here? Looks like I can throw in the check and this rook is hanging. Yeah, so very inconsistent. Like, this is easy example after this. Yeah, that was very strange example previous. Bishop takes and rook is hanging. Yeah, and I'm kind of going with mate, with the back rank mate there. Okay, here he just terribly opened this, so we can do something with double check. Yeah, but how we can do it? I'm already seeing some nice idea with mate patterns. Yeah, double check here, king has to go, check here, has to take, only move, and then queen slides to the h file and it's gonna be mate there. Yeah, using a very nice pattern with queen and heavy piece and the bishop there. So this is winning. Check here, yeah, and we slide to the h file and queen and bishop mate delivered. Okay, king goes here. What is this? What a strange material balance. Looks like we're down 4 pawns even, yeah, but I think it's a mate here. Rook here, king comes here, yeah, and it's a mate like this, using rook and knight together. Very unexpected. Yeah, he got in with the king there, and looks like king again is super exposed here. So how can we come in with some mating ideas? If we go with the queen here, he can maybe even come back. Yeah, this knight c4 is not working. White has knight here, so king is kind of in the almost mating net, but how to play here? How precisely to play? We don't have rook c8, so what else to do? Yeah, what are the candidate moves here? Well, we still have to go probably for this. If he crosses the c file, at least we got some rook c8, so he'll have to step back. But then what? Yeah, then queen here takes here probably, and we're winning the rook at least. Yeah, very important that this is protected by the knight. So looks like the only answer. Yeah, otherwise our king is also kind of exposed. Yeah, what else to do there? So no mate I see here. I have to go for such tactics. Yeah, if I go here, king here, then I kind of go here and skewer his king and queen. Yeah, if knight blocks, I just take it. So looks like this is the move. Yeah, and we take, whoops, I forgot, we cannot take the rook. My bad. Oh my god. Yeah, actually bishop before. Yeah. Almost made a mistake. Bishop b4 seems to be winning. Yeah, let's calculate. I was losing my concentration here. Bishop b4, king goes here, and then what? Yeah, then we go queen e1, I think. King comes here, and then we can maybe do something, and then we can go rook c8 after that perhaps. Or is it? Yeah, but I don't see any other move. Yeah, it has to be bishop b4. Okay, here we don't have any this move. Yeah, we have to go aggressive. Is this mate somewhere? Queen e1, king c2. Where is the mate? Coming back, queen e1. Yeah, queen e1, king c2. But then we could play rook c8, but then he blocks with the knight, and maybe there is somehow a mate. Yeah, this is tricky one. Any other move is not forcing, yeah, so it has to be queen e1. Okay, but I didn't understand fully what happened there, so I really hate when they kind of drop immediately, yeah, with correct answer. Yeah, they didn't follow the full line, yeah, so either you have to play till the end, yeah, or it has to be clear, yeah. This is very bad example, last one, how it happened, yeah, not till the end. Okay, what's happening here? We could maybe take the rook or go rook e8. I think taking the rook should be maybe better. But what happens? Take the rook, king takes. What else to do there? Yeah, because he has also the queen guarding here. Oh, but we can also pin. Yeah, the rook didn't see kind of that. He can come back. Yeah, he has no checks. Or he has actually a check. Queen e6, he has queen f4 check. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Looks like we cannot do it. Yeah, he has queen f4 and then he kind of perpetual checks us if he likes. So it has to be rook takes. But then what? Yeah, king takes. How do we follow up? Just rook here? The idea kind of seems strange. Yeah, attacking this. But there's no good way to protect him that. So our idea could be immediately take here. Queen f4, we're still winning there. Yeah, exchanging queens and capturing on g7. And if he tries, oh, but he can try this, then queen f4. Yeah, some checks. Not sure if that helping, probably helping. Yeah, because queen can defend later g7. Okay, but maybe takes rook g5 then. Yeah, and how does he defend g7? Only move there I see is rook g8, but then we made the king probably. Yeah, we made the king somehow. Here. Yeah, it's mate there I see, or winning a queen at least. Okay, let's try for that. And yeah, no checks because he's coming back. I think we have to take here, yeah, and go for attack. Okay, and he sacks the queen. This is really stupid. He had to play rook g8. A very stupid example again. Okay, knight d6. Yeah, here it's clear. White is trying to sacrifice his knight for this pawn. If he managed to do that, he's winning. Yeah, so we have to know some domination techniques against the knight. I think the first right move is this. We have to keep close eye so he cannot come back here. Yeah, so this would be a typical like diagonal. Yeah, diagonal dominance with king versus knight, because we know when the pieces are standing like that, yeah, diagonally, it takes for knight 3 moves to reach that king on b4. So he will have to, yeah, let's calculate some moves. He will have to come back either or go behind somehow, yeah, behind the pawn. So let's see it, king b4. Let's try calculating knight e4. He's trying to come back there, but I think then we're just pushing the pawn. Knight d2, yeah, and pawn goes here and covers that square, so that's winning. So other line needs to be calculated. King here, maybe he goes behind. Yeah, behind here doesn't work because the pawn is just going through. So maybe let's calculate knight c8. Yeah, usually knight is trying from behind somehow to get into there, but then I think we're getting king b4, knight c8, a3, knight b6. Then he wants to maybe come back here. a2, he comes back here, but he doesn't stop the pawn. Yeah, so I think this is the right move. Oh, didn't see that one. So he wants to go here. And then what? Then he's trying to stop the pawn. Yeah, like a3, knight d4, a2. He's just in time to reach here. But then I go here and looks like his knight is trapped in the corner. King b2. h5, king a1, h6, king b1, h7, and I queen. Okay, looks like it's working. Oh, he's gonna come back with the knight here. Okay, but still I'm kind of winning. Yeah, now I have to be careful not to push the pawn, yeah, because I'm gonna get forward. So it's kind of transposing to the same line. I have to go here because knight c2 is threatened anyway. Yeah, and here we go. Now this capture would be a terrible mistake because he goes h7, a1 queen, and h8 queen, and I'm getting skewered. Yeah, so I have to promote the queen at once. Okay, what's happening here? Looks like this is a nice pin going on, so why not to use that pin and win something? Yeah, pin and win. Looks like this is a pin example. Yeah, and I take with the check. Yeah, I've seen that. I take with the check and win this guy. Okay, what's happening here? Yeah, messy position. White to play. We have 2 queens. What's happening here? Very strange, yeah, lots of pieces. I don't know what's going on here. Can we, yeah, it's probably about mate idea somehow. Queen power, but how to checkmate, yeah? Some candidate moves knight check here. Doesn't seem to work, because he just takes with the rook. What else? Knight here. Knight to c3. He can take again, and I don't see any checkmate. What if we sacrifice the queen somehow? Sack the queen. Like this, yeah? Is it working? I don't think so. Yeah, because we don't have b4 square. Huh, that's a strange one. So, okay. What is happening here? Yeah, and I cannot do slow moves, yeah, like queen c1. I'm gonna get checkmated myself probably somehow. So, okay, I think I see it. We have to sack the queen one after the other, yeah? Queen here, rook takes, queen here, another sack, has to take only move, and then it is finally amazing knight mate, yeah. Very impressive pattern, yeah. The lone knight checkmates the king because he's blocked between his own pieces. Amusing example. Okay, here, yeah, black pins us here. Looks like his pieces are kind of safe here. I mean the king, but can we do something on that king? Yeah, he's gonna take the bishop. If we don't do something about it, maybe we can kind of trap this rook there. Can we go? Yeah, he has no checks there, so can we go bishop g7, trying to trap the rook. If rook h5, then bishop g6. And if rook g8, what do we have there? Looks like bishop is attacked, and I cannot move it in any way. So not trapping the rook there. So if I do, yeah, cannot move the knight. Yeah, cannot move the rook anywhere here. Not helping. Has to be some forcing idea. Bishop here, rook here. What then? Yeah, bishop is under attack. If I kind of protect it this way, maybe I am trapping the rook there. But is it sufficient to win? Yeah, because next I want to play there. So yeah, but I think he might be even defending with this bishop. g6. Oh, but then I have bishop g6. Yeah, check, and it's not really pinning me, and then I take his bishop. Maybe that's... I don't see any other way to do anything here with white. Just to go after his rook, to trap the rook. There is no mate. King is kind of feeling safe here. In the end game, can I trap any of these guys? No, bishop is nicely here. Nice, knights are okay. Well, I can take the knight. He takes back, but then there is nothing, yeah, no follow-up after that. So maybe, yeah, but if I go here, he cannot like take this pawn. I take the knight, but he can do what? He can take the bishop first, and then I attack his knight, but then the knight escapes. Yeah, so it's not helping either. Okay, takes. Yeah, it's not working, so I think I'll go for this. Maybe a mistake, I don't know. Yeah, mistake. So we'll check that example afterwards. I kind of messed up there. Okay, so one mistake already. Have to be careful. So with black to play, looks like it's gonna be a race again. So we need to calculate what's happening here. If knight here, he can take it and be in the square, yeah? So his king is for the moment in the square, but after this, the square will move, yeah, to this, and he might not be able to catch my pawn, so the only move for him will be to push that pawn quickly, but then I go back, pushes again, I go in front of the pawn. I stop that, and stop the pawns. And if he goes a5, f5 here, if he goes king e7, yeah, trying to queen with checks, then I have knight d5 move, I think, and that stops. I can even sack that knight because my pawn is going faster. Okay, seems like I'm winning this race. Okay, d5. No need to sack now, yeah, because he's gonna be in the square. If I sack, he's gonna be in the square. So I push forward, and do I need actually to move this knight now here? I don't think so. Maybe a3, d7, then move the knight. And if he chases after my knight, we can easily escape somewhere. So the question is, do I really need to move the knight now? Well, I don't think so. Just push it. Yeah, now I need to move the knight. And now I need to a7 captures, and we both queen. So now I need to place the knight here to guard everything. And you see he's not in the square. Okay, that worked. All right, what is this? I can capture, and take that rook. Looks like it's winning, but can be deceiving, yeah? If I first go here, and he do something, yeah, he can sack the bishop actually, and at least not lose the rook, yeah? If I try to win the rook like that, intending, yeah, for him to go somewhere here, then to take the rook, then he kind of sacks the bishop. Defensive resource, yeah, I take, but he's only losing a piece, not the rook. So that is not a good move actually. Queen d4. What if I take and then take the rook? Should be. Am I winning that position? Yes, I am, because bishop is pinned. Yeah, so this is the correct way. I still win the bishop. Yeah, if I don't win that bishop, then it's not so clear. But I win the bishop. Okay. What is this? Oh, I have some ideas with this sack. And then coming with queen here and bishop, but he has this f3 later on, so maybe I should go immediately with queen here. Has to play g3 then. And after that, I go rook h5, I think, and it's close to mate. Yeah, or bishop g4 I can also include at any moment. So let's kind of see it precisely. Cannot sack, yeah, the sack doesn't seem to work. Can go into the corner, and the bishop g4 is met with f3, so what about it? Queen here. Okay, he has some check, but it doesn't help. Just move out of the way. Cannot go queen f3 after that. Has to play g3. And then, yeah, then it's this decision time. Should I go bishop g4? No, because f3, I think, is and gives opportunity to put some piece on second row to defend. So after g3, I need to go rook h5 then. And he either has to move the rook out of the way to run. But am I winning there? Yeah, check, king runs away. Am I really winning there? Yeah, I can take the knight at least, but my rook will be hanging. Okay, not so clear, not so clear. Okay, but definitely not rook here. Well, another move could be interesting is, yeah, I definitely cannot play that. Thought about it for a moment, but he also can play queen f3 if he doesn't even have, yeah, if he don't have knight e7, then he could just defend the knight. Okay, so I think we have to go for this queen h3. Okay, now what? Bishop g4. I didn't like f3, and he's kind of blocking everything. Yeah, queen is coming to help. So I thought rook h5, but then what if rook e1? He tries to run away. What about that? Then I take, king goes here. I check, king goes if e2. If king goes, oh, king has to go to e2. And I can take the knight at least. Okay, so I'm at least winning a piece. Okay, he sacrificed, but the variation was this, yeah? Check, check, and take the knight. I kind of calculated that, but now I just take the queen. Okay, here we go. We are playing with black. No, with white actually, yeah, with white. Okay, what is happening here? Black is moving this way, yeah, and he wants the queen. We have a pawn at least here, so we could save our knight, let him queen, then take back. And how many moves does that take? Yeah, so let's use our method to calculate the moves. Yeah, if I move one, if I move here, then he plays this, and I take and I take, and then imagine that position, it's my move. So how many moves do I have there? 1, 2, 3. He has 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm queening way faster, I think so. But another line could be, what if he takes that pawn? Well, then I'm queening, yeah, also fast. So I think just 92. Yeah, okay, here, but I'm going through. Okay, and I'm winning. Okay, that was a bit weird example for such a rating. Very easy, I would say. Okay, so here the king is here. What if I take, yeah, with the queen or the rook? What's happening here? I definitely want to take with the rook, because bringing another piece into attack, not with the queen. Yeah, with the queen probably there is no follow-up after, like move king d8 or something, or maybe there is, or knight e7 actually, knight e7 he can play. So so that's why we take with the rook, but let's calculate what's happening here. Rook takes, yeah, he cannot go to the, well, if he goes to the back row, like here or here, he's getting mated, yeah, like simply queen f8 or something. So he has to go after rook f7 to c8 to block with the knight. So what's happening then? Can I go rook c7 there? Oh, I can maybe do queen f8, check. He has to block with the knight. I can come back here. He has to go here, and then I'm mating him this way. Check, king c8, check on d7, and then take the knight finally. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, forceful calculation. Yeah, so my idea is now if I move the rook here, he blocks, yeah, and no follow-up. But I see that I can bring the queen in. Queen going in, knight has to go back. Queen checks here. Oh, and actually, yeah, there's mate even easier there. Okay, what is this? Looks like, yeah, we're black. King is terribly here trapped. I can do that move. King has to move forward. And then what is this? Just g6 and takes. I have queen there, yeah, so it's gonna be mate. Looks like it. Cannot go anywhere else. Yeah, let me quickly check. Yeah, he cannot go anywhere else. And is there a faster mate? No, I don't think so. Yeah, if we check from here, it's risky. Might go g4 or something. So g6 looks like just bringing the queen in. Yeah, kind of very easy for such level. Okay, already we are above 50, so it's kind of like if I reach 60 I would be happy at such a level. So queen check. Now we have to decide where to go. So either king here, but that kind of exposes the king to some tactics. What if I go here or here? Yeah, I can also go e6, but that doesn't help. So either king here. What can he do then? I don't see any like. Yeah, but then he has opportunity to check later on. So I think maybe king g7 is the right idea, because he has no back rank check then at any moment. So king g7, he cannot take on e7 actually. He has to deal with that rook. And also I leave my queen here, yeah, to come in if I need it on the f line. And this bishop is aiming here nicely, yeah. So what could be the downside of this move? If he trades, my queen comes in, and I'm dominating there, and he has no further checks. So I'll be able to capture with the bishop here and threaten him things before he checks me. So looks like king g7 is the right move. Yeah, I just didn't calculate, maybe a mistake. No, not a mistake. Okay, here, but then we see simple tactics. Boom and boom. Yeah. Okay. Again, weak king. Yeah, all these exercises are usually related to weak king and hanging pieces. So what can we do about this weak king? Can we check somewhere? He can run away maybe. We can capture here immediately, but that doesn't seem to... Maybe it works. If king goes here, then we're kind of invading and mating, yeah, with the queen. King goes here, yeah, and then it's gonna be checkmate. So knight f4, big candidate move. Knight f4, what can he do? Yeah, he cannot go back. That we calculated. He has to go either here or g4. Yeah, what's happening if king here? Then we go with the queen in again and mating him there. Yeah, same stuff. So king has to go to not h4. King has to go to g4, and then what? Is there a mate somehow? Knight f4, king g4. Is there a mate? h5 I could play, but then king takes, yeah, and I see no mate. So what's the idea? How to checkmate him there? I cannot enter with the queen. Yeah, I have no other pieces except queen and knight. So knight f4, king g4. And what to do? Where is this amazing mate? Can I trap him somehow? If h5, he can take the knight then. Yeah, if h5 takes the h5, he could take the knight. Then queen h4. Oh, then queen h4 and king coming here, and it's mate there. Wow, okay. Looks like I found it, yeah? Queen, knight h4, king g4, h5, forcing move, has to take the knight. That allows me queen, all because of this pawn. Okay. Go h5. Now with king f5 after h5, I think just queen f6 is a mate, yeah. There it is, very, very beautiful. Boom. Okay. 53. So my kind of previously, I don't solve these often. Previous kind of best was 54. I know it's low. Yeah, many players like on even lower level easily reach 3000 tactics on chess.com. So yeah, bear with me. I just wanted to show you kind of thinking process, yeah, for club level guys. Not to chase after some records, yeah, just showing how I think during solving. So okay, here we go. Looks like forcing move rook f3 should be played. Yeah, what else? Because queen alone won't do much there. So let's calculate some stuff. Queen, knight, rook f3. Yeah. What's happening here? If king moves here, and I think maybe we're checkmating somehow. Yeah, we could bring the queen through e8. There should be some checkmates around there. Looks like it can be some checkmate already. Yeah, some calculations, deep ones. So rook f3. Yeah, if king goes kind of to e7, then we have a, whoops, not there, on f8. Yeah, the skewer there. So has to be rook f3. I don't see any other move. So in the practical game scenario, what would happen? I don't see any other good move, yeah. Like even if you calculate candidate moves, it doesn't matter, yeah, because this is like the most forcing move. Has to play this, and I would calculate after that, yeah. In the game, this is like a natural only move, and then calculate, yeah, because you make a move already. Yeah, if he went there, I would have made a skewer. And then queen would come back, yeah, from the back rank mate. So here is the problem, yeah. Now we have a decision time to make. If I go here, he has queen g5 blocking. Yeah, so by process of elimination I can basically see that I have to go queen e8 somehow. Yeah, no other move, because if I play something slow I let him consolidate. Yeah, so queen e8 has to be the move by logic. And then what? Now we can maybe check here, and what is this? Rook here, king here. Yeah, okay, no, rook here, king here, queen maybe coming here, king comes back. Yeah, if here, then I made him somehow. But no other move. Yeah, but to go rook h3. Yeah, problem is I cannot win the queen because I'm getting mate in there in the end. Oh, but I can win the queen this way. Yeah, and the same idea there was the process was I defend on g1. Yeah, if you've seen that. Okay, what's happening here? Looks like queen is a bit exposed. Immediately I see the problem that queen might get trapped somehow. Yeah, queen is very exposed here. So what can I do? Yeah, takes. Can I trap that queen? I don't know. Maybe I can or not. But I can at least play this move. And then it's big problems with that move. Queen has to go to d5 or something. Maybe escapes. Yeah, c4. Queen here. So what else I can do? Queen cannot go anywhere here. Knight g3. Maybe queen f6 runs away. Okay, capture. d3. And then queen has to run away somewhere, yeah, because there's nowhere else to go for this queen, because we have this discovered attack. So queen d5, I go c4, yeah, all forcing moves. Queen has to take here, bishop here, and the only move for the queen to run away is b6. So can we trap it there? I don't think so immediately, but we could take on g7 and then win a rook. Like on f6. Yeah, many arrows, but I think let's try it. Yeah, so all forced moves. c4, queen takes, bishop here. Let's see that. Yeah, and then I win the rook. Yeah, there, maybe you've seen it. Okay, looks like king is in a mating net here, but can black actually give us a check? Not in one move. Can maybe do in two moves and then make a draw or something. But we're down on material, so we have to be super fast. If we go here, then he can take and give a check to us here, and he's at least making a draw, I think. So we have a draw in the pocket if we need it. Yeah, but there's no maybe rook f7. Yeah, it needs to be calculated, because bishop g5 is a mating threat. And what can he do there? Not much, I think. Not much. Yeah, so maybe this is a kind of trap example, because many people might go for this, but then you get getting checkmated, yeah, after capture. So getting checked, I think. I mean, so rook here seems to be working, yeah, because I don't see any way to prevent this bishop g5. Oh, maybe he can actually push the pawn. Yeah, that's his only resource. Let's calculate that. Takes, yeah, pushing is the only way to kind of deal with it. And I take with the bishop. He moves the king here. I can check with the rook. He moves back somehow. I can check with another rook there, but he escapes, I think. Does he escape? Okay, let's deep calculation. Yeah, rook here, g5. Doesn't matter which pawn with. If I take with the pawn, his king actually escapes. So I have to take with the bishop to keep my rook on the f line. Then he goes king here, rook here, king goes back somewhere, bring another rook, all forced moves, and his king has to go on this 2 rows. I mean 2 squares on the back row. But then I can maybe check. Yeah, and I'm checkmating him. I think I see a checkmate there. Okay, so let's try it. This, calculate this, all forced moves. And my idea was to kind of check with the rook a bit here, and then bishop check will be killer. So let's see if it works. Yeah, check, check again. Yeah, now if he moves, yeah, now if in the corner it would be immediate mate, but here I just slide him here and laser mate. All right, well done. Well, I'm gonna reach 60 and end it there. Yeah, I think so. Let's try here. Yeah, because this is a very nice training session for me also. I hope you're not too bored to watch this. Yeah, so what is happening here? King is kind of exposed. Yeah, so it has to be something with the king. We have a rook here. Just need to, not necessarily a check, but need to make some very precise move how to win this. Yeah, if we check, king will run away somewhere. So what's happening here? Queen e5 looks like an interesting move, but what does it threaten? Yeah, maybe queen c3 it threatens. So what else can we do? Can I take here? Rook e2 is a bit slow. Yeah, rook is under attack, so we cannot make a random slow move. If we go here, he goes here, can go here. Then we either have to sack something, probably not. Yeah, he will defend if we sack. So either we, yeah, in a real game, if you don't checkmate this with black, you're gonna lose. So has to be something here. Yeah, if rook e2, it's a bit too slow. Maybe he has some defensive ideas. Probably rook d2. He defends, I think. So have to be super fast here. So yeah, seems like only move is this check. But where does he go? Okay, thinking it has to be something with queen e5 to come in here. Otherwise I don't see it. And I'm supporting also rook e2, so I'm not sure what's happening here. I'll just go for it. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. Yeah, it's a mistake, so we'll see after that. Okay, let's try to reach 60 at least. Yeah, I have one more mistake to make, so might not reach it, but already I'm was 54 I think last time, so 56 is already kind of okay for me. Yeah, a nice kind of tactical session. What can I do here? Can I sack? Queen going here, king a8. What's happening there? Can I bring some more reinforcements there? Take, yeah, but he is also threatening checkmate, checking here. Yeah, almost checkmate. So, and also bishop c5. So I have, it's all has to be like forcing moves in this position. This is purely tactical. Yeah, checks, captures, threats. So it has to be, yeah, by kind of process of elimination, it has to be this rook b6. I don't see anything else. But I think maybe we don't need to take back with the queen. We can do another. Yeah, there is candidate selection. Another check could be the problem for him. So rook takes b6. He takes back a7. King takes, and then I can bring my rook at least. Okay, but he has bishop a6 there. Okay, but then I go queen c7 and mate. So I think that would be the proper calculation. So yeah, because if I take back with the queen, I don't see the follow-up after that move. That pawn kind of gives him shelter. So yeah, that's the right idea. a7 I think is winning. Yep. And I go in with the, okay, he can sack all he wants, but I go with the queen here and mate. Okay, nice, nice. Okay, again, king exposed. candidate moves. Yeah, rook here, but doesn't work. No follow-up after king d3. What about some other moves? Yeah, queen f6 could be a candidate move, but maybe rook e5. I don't see how we continue. Maybe here actually. Yeah, he's pinned all over. He cannot move anything else. Because if queen here, he moves the king somewhere here. What's happening then? Maybe I have some checks going on, yeah, through that side. Has to be with some checks. Yeah, other move I'm seeing is this. But what if he goes king here? How I'm chasing that king? Yeah, because I'm down material, I'm down a piece. So if he defends, I'm losing. So I have to go for forceful b5, yeah, and hope for some miracle there. But I think he escapes. Yeah, he could even go back there maybe and even sack the piece for a moment. Okay, doesn't seem c5 doesn't seem to work in my view. So it has to be queen f6, yeah, candidate move. Or what else? Queen f6, at least queen is kind of lifted, yeah, to the side by doing that move. Queen f6. If he goes here, then I think I'm still playing this. King goes here. And what then? I can take the rook if I need to. But is that enough? b6. Maybe. Okay, very strange. c5. King here, yeah, that's the problem. And c5, if king takes c5, what do I have? c7, no. Queen b6, king c4, yeah. Not sure what's there. To me, queen f6 seems to be the most, yeah, without calculating deeply, queen f6 seems to be the working move, because if a rook e5, then I have queen e5, f4 at least. Okay, let's go for that. Wasn't a mistake, I was afraid it was a mistake. Okay, so now what? Now we can actually go for this. I think, yeah, and if king c5, can we do some more damage? We can win that rook, then win the game probably, yeah. c5 immediately, he can take, perhaps. Okay, let's go for this. Oh my god. Okay, this was, yeah, so c5 probably was the right move. Let's check quickly what went wrong with the not solved examples. Yeah, let's see, what did I miss? So this was, yeah, this example I kind of missed. I played here, I think, but it didn't work. What did I miss? Okay, now, oh, now we take, and of course we lure him into the pin. Okay, I missed that. My bad. What next? This example. Yeah, this was very tricky. Rook e2, yeah, very hard. Well, not easy move to find. Yeah, it's not forced. And these are the hardest exercises when not forced. And yeah. How are we winning? We want to do this, yeah, no. So I have to block, and we do this anyway. Yeah, okay, that's what happened. I didn't see that. Okay, it was a bit not concentrated. And finally, yeah, let's see the last I missed. Queen f6, I guessed the first move right. Yeah, but guessing is not enough. You have to see the full line. So here we just take it, yeah, and then I guess, yeah, simple this, yeah, okay. Kind of missed a lot of things, but it's harder to solve when you're speaking, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this. This is a good way actually to train your tactics. Well, first examples are very easy as usual, but they get harder, yeah. And you're not pressed on time. You can later do some deep calculation exercises. So wish you the best and see you next time.